even we conservatives, even people who take a listen to this show, who listen to the various examples of this, sometimes forget how crazy the culture has gotten. And then we get reminded. University of Georgia has just issued a mandate to students, some guidance on how to move forward during COVID. Do you think the guidance was on how they can continue to learn, how they can take notes, how they can go to class while protecting themselves? No. The guidance was about how when these teenagers have sex, they should wear masks when they have sex. It's not a joke. Here's the guidance. Consider wearing a face mask during sex. Heavy breathing and panting can further spread the virus, and wearing a mask can reduce the risk. So, I mean, that's all true. I guess that's right. But do you remember when universities were in loco parentis, when they would kick the girls out of the dorms at 9 p.m., or actually before that, when education was single sex because you were discouraged from having sex in the culture broadly outside of marriage, and certainly at universities with all these. Now, the university is giving you tips on how to get kinky with the co-eds. They're encouraging you to do it. And then, but that's kind of, perfectly natural, you might say. Then the next part is even wilder. They say, quote, "You are your safest sex partner. Practice solo sex or limit the number of sexual partners you have." So limit the number of, hey, they can't tell you to, maybe cool it and keep your modesty and virtue, because that they call that slut shaming. So they say, would you mind maybe limiting the number of sexual partners? No more than 3 or 4 a day, please. And please practice solo sex. What is solo sex? So I believe Woody Allen defined it as sex with someone who loves you. When it's just you and, you turn the blinds down and you go into your own room. In any case, that's a real inversion of the culture. For the vast majority of the history of this country, sex outside of marriage would be discouraged. Sex among teenagers who are off at college would be discouraged. Masturbation would be discouraged. But we now have a new kind of religious worldview, a new morality. And we pretend that it's just the absence of religion. We pretend that it's totally neutral, but it's not. There's nothing neutral about encouraging teenagers to have sex with one another. There's nothing neutral about encouraging masturbation with kind of silly euphemisms and things like that. That is another religious view. That's the religious view of the secular left. And we are coming to a head in this religious war. Cardinal Manning, I mention the quote on the show all the time because it's so true. At bottom, all human conflict is theological. And those are two theologies. Those are two religious views of the world. Which one do you want to live in? One is very tempting, all this kind of indulgent behavior is very fun. There's a reason that it's so tempting. But is that what's going to make a good society? Is that what's going to make us good people as individuals? Or are we going to come to regret that? It's always fun to have a lot of drinks at the time. It's always fun, okay, I'll have one more, 5 drinks later. But then you have the hangover the next day. We've got a bit of a cultural hangover right now. And going back, reading those founding fathers, you notice there's a big difference they make between liberty and licentiousness. Liberty, we're exercising your freedom in the true sense of that, raising ourselves up, leading to human flourishing, and licentiousness, which is outright just discouraged or banned or talked about as sort of the end of free government. Licentiousness, where you just follow your own appetites, do whatever you want. Well, now we've got a culture that, it seems to me that the Christian culture that founded this country promoted liberty and ordered liberty. And this current religion of secular wokeism is promoting nothing other than licentiousness. I hope you enjoyed that short segment from the Michael Knowles Show. Be sure to check out the full episode linked in the description, or download the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.